Hi everyone, a very good evening and welcome to our another session of the master classes. So in today's masterclass, we will be learning like how do you build a distributed messaging system like Discord. And yeah, I'm really glad that you guys could turn up on a Wednesday evening. And for this topic, we have a very special guest with us, Sandeep. And Sandeep is an BITS Pilani alum. Sandeep has over 8 years of experience in the software engineering domain. Sandeep is a software engineer and he has work experience in companies like SAP Labs and Software EG. So, yeah, Sandeep, I'm thrilled to have you here with us in our session and over to you.
Hello. Uh, Thank you for the quick introductions and glad I'm here with you guys. Okay, we may start, I guess.
Yes, yes.
Shall or shall we wait for some people to turn up more, or shall we start?
I think we can start with the event, Sandeep, and yeah, I think people will turn up in the next 5 minutes, I guess.
Sure, no problem. Okay, I am sharing my screen. Before that, yeah, I think I am done with my introductions. What about you people? From where are you guys joining? And also just tell me like, sorry, you are not audible.
Yes, so you guys can keep interacting via chat, and towards the end of the session, we'll be having a Kahoot quiz, and there are gift vouchers waiting for you. So yeah, be participative throughout the event.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sandeep, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, people. So glad you guys can make it. So, okay, just tell me like from where are you connecting and your like what is your background, student, or you are right now working with some company, or just fresher as such. Okay, so by the time I can give a quick introduction. So as she has mentioned that I'm a software engineer. I'm right now connecting from Bengaluru. It's quite hot compared to other days as such. And okay, BCom graduate. We have people from Rajasthan, Srinagar. Okay, BTech, good. Awesome. So we will basically, okay, before that, are you able to see my screen? Is it? You can. Is it? Okay, let me know first whether you are able to see my screen. Yes, okay. Entrepreneur, okay, good. Awesome. So by that time, we can probably start. Okay, I can see a lot of students here, computer science students or other students as well. Good. All right, guys. So I will start with today's session while you guys are dropping your messages in between. I will see the messages as well as if you have some doubt, do let me know. I will clear them off. Like in between, I just go through the chat and we can discuss about your queries. Okay. Okay. Awesome then. So the topic for our session today is how to design distributed messaging system like Discord, right? So how many of you are aware of Discord? You guys are Gen Z guys, I guess, like a lot of you might have used it. So I have used it, not much, but yeah, quite some time to connect to my favorite YouTubers. That's the only way I have, only time I have used. Okay, so how many of you have used chat rooms? Back in the days, we had chat rooms. You remember? Where basically we can make a group and people can chat with each other, right? Another example could be WhatsApp groups. In the same way, these our what you call Discord servers also work. You can just imagine it like WhatsApp group. There is not much different between the two. So there also you can do like voice communications, video communication with entire group, and here also you can do that, right? Okay, I think I have some questions raised. I mean hands raised. So please feel free to drop your question. I will take it like while interacting with you guys. So like I said, like today's discussion on the topic distributed messaging system, guys. Okay, so agenda for today, we will start with the overview of Discord server. What are the Discord servers? Then we will basically go through what are the design principles. What is the meaning for design principles? It basically means that what are the things which you should and must take care of when you are basically designing such large scale system. What do you mean by large scale system? Large scale system in the sense like your website, your applications will be used by millions and millions of users. So suppose, let's just not for Discord, when you and your friend suppose is trying to make a clone or probably something competition to Facebook or Instagram. So that is a large scale system. Why it is a large scale system? Because too many people will use that. So you have to be utmost sure that your quality is at the 100% level, right? So all the things which need to be taken care of when you are basically trying to make such big system, those things we will discuss. Next is we will talk about like what are the architectures. Software architecture means basically what are the technologies which we use basically to make the front end and back end of the Discord, right? This application. And finally, we will also talk about the entire working, like how exactly this entire software or this group messaging in Discord works, right? If you guys are getting confused with the Discord, so I will just say that it is like a WhatsApp group chat, one and the same thing, right? So how the entire technology or what are the things which works in parallel when you are just communicating with your friends in a group chat. So we will see that as well. That is the one of the most important thing, right? And finally, we will have a Kahoot quiz, I think, for which you have a prize, right? So please be attentive and make sure you are giving your 100% in your Kahoot, or we say the quiz which we have. It's a multiple questions quiz, which we will have at the end of the class. Okay, good. I see people increasing. The number of people who have joined has increased. That's good. Okay. Any issues in like you guys are able to hear my voice and see what I'm sharing, right? Do let me know if there is any difficulty. We have moderators who will try to solve your any kind of technical issues out there. All right. Okay, good then. Let's start. So overview of the Discord app. So like I said that this is a small web application for basically connecting to a huge group of people. Right now, as you can see that in WhatsApp group, you just be able to connect to 240 members. I guess that is the limit which WhatsApp has set. Whereas in Discord community, there is no limit as such, right? So it basically works on the two major features. One is the server. What is the meaning for server? Server is just the same as you creating a group message in a WhatsApp. In WhatsApp, you are creating a group. Similarly, in the Discord application as well, you can create your own server, right? Next is inside the server as well, you can make different channels. So what are these channels? You can imagine these channels as different topics which you guys can basically have communication on. Okay, you can just imagine it like you have created a group for your college people. For example, you are in, let's say, computer science department of your college. Now, your computer science department can have up to, let's say, a rough estimation of 200 people. Now, obviously, when 200 people are just talking about one thing, it will be too much of chaos, isn't it? So for that, basically what you can do is you can make separate topics. For example, one topic can be for the hardwares, means the people in the computer science department who are just focused or who are just interested in the hardwares, right? Computer hardwares, they can talk about that. Another one could be, let's say some hackathon, right? So you guys are hackathon enthusiasts and you want to make something big in, let's say, or want to participate in some hackathon. There you can basically talk. Just like we have different what you call communities in college, drama clubs basically, right? Drama clubs, then arts club, dancing clubs, and all those things. So similarly, once you create a server, once lot of people join your server, after that you can make basically something called channels. Channels are nothing, this is just the different topics on which you can interact with your peers, right? So that is the basic overview of the Discord, how it works. So these are the main two features on which Discord works. Rest of the things remains the same. You can share your photos, you can share your videos, you can basically have a voice communication with your peers or the people who are there in this particular channel, right? Also, you can basically communications. Obviously, like you can have a text chat as well with your peers. By peers, I mean to say your friends. Okay. All right. So let's see if we have any question here. So feel free to ask any questions or suggestions. If you think that I'm going slow or I'm fast, do let me know. I'll be happy to basically acknowledge your question and answer that. Right. Okay. So, okay, next. So what is the Discord timeline? Timeline is basically like, sorry. Yeah. So timeline is basically what is the development of the Discord, this application. So it was launched back in 2015. So as you can see that it's not more than 7 years old, right? So once it was released for the normal public, it was quite popular among the gaming community. That time they used to like interact with one another. One, I think, very popular one is, I think, Carrie Minati. I'm sure like everyone knows about Carrie Minati. So when he is interacting with his fans, that time he do use the Discord, right? So next time, if you're not aware of it, please go and have a look. So you guys already are using a lot of applications, right? Web applications like Telegram and all. Telegram also have these groups for different interest, right? For example, free movies download, or let's say stock market updates or something like that. As far as I know, all these kind of informations are available. So similarly, we have a Discords. So go and check it out if you're still not aware of it. So like I said, Discord was launched back in 2015, right? And became quite popular among the gaming community. Next, in 2016, the number of users has increased from 25 million active registers, and they were like communicating with one another, and they are basically exchanging more than 100 million messages per day. So as you can see that just in 1 year, we have more than 25 million registers. That is really huge, right? Next, in 2018, 200 million active users were there, and they got their first funding, right, of more than 150 million at $2 billion valuations. So I think by now everybody know how valuations and fundings works. I'm pretty sure that you guys are watching what was the TV series about the business funding and all. Shark Tank, is it? Yeah, Shark Tank, I guess, which is becoming quite popular in India, right? How valuation works and how this 150 million. So what do you think? What is this meaning for this? 150 million in funding for $2 billion valuations. What is the meaning for this? How much percentage stake they might have sold to the investors? Can anyone tell me in the chat? Let's see who can guess. Screen is not visible, is it? Okay, let me, one second. Screen is visible. Okay, 1 second. Okay. I am just sharing my screen, this link. Okay, I'm resharing, guys. 1 second, I'm resharing. Okay, is it visible, guys? Is it visible? Okay, awesome. I don't know what happened. It got unshared. Yeah. So I said that. So that's what it is saying, that it in 2018 it got 150 million dollars of funding with $2 billion valuation. What do you think? How much percentage it is? Can anyone guess? Okay. 7.5 is it? Okay. Yeah, that's what, like, we have to divide the 150 by, I think, 2000, right? So whatever it is, it will come. So it will come to 7.5. I guess Krishna is right? So that means they have sold their 7.5% of the stakes with $2 billion valuation for $150 million of funding. And then next, for 2020, they got more than 300 million registers, and they have also changed their names from Chat for Gamers to Chat for Communities and Friends, right? So that is all about the stories of Discord, and I hope so you guys have developed some interest about this application. It is growing really quick, and especially among the, like, young ones, right? I'm not sure how old are you guys. I'm quite old, I guess, right? So I had not used it much, but I have heard these days it is getting quite popular among the new age people, right? Okay. So do let me know if you have any questions. Is that clear till now? What is Discord? How it works? Right? About the history overview. Any confusion till now? Please say yes or no. I want this series or session to be more interactive. Please say yes or no. It will be really good. Okay. I cannot see any yes. Okay, good. Thank you, Krishna. All right, guys. Good. Next. Large scale. Now, how to think large scale. So, like I have introduced in the very beginning, how to think large scale means when you are trying to make a large scale system, what all things you should and must take care of, right? So that's what we're going to talk in this part, right? How to think large scale. All right. So basically, whenever you are trying to design something which is large scale, like I mentioned, large scale means basically not today, but maybe tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow, it will be used by a large community of people or large number of people, right? So basically, when you're designing or when you're developing some application, you should and must think of these principles, right? When you're basically developing or basically designing on a pen and paper, that time also you should think of these things. What is a small scale? Small scale, I can give you a real life example. A small scale is, let's say, your tea shop, right? A tea stall program. So why it is a small scale? Why it is not large scale? Small scale it is because you know that at max in a day, I can serve not more than 200 customers. If I need to have more customers, let's say all of a sudden 10,000 people come to my tea stall, you cannot cater all of them, obviously, right? Number one, you might not have like entity, like have the resources to prepare 10,000 cup of tea, right? Next, you might not have space for giving them proper seats and everything. So that means I can say that, okay, this my tea stall or my tea shop is a small scale thing, right? Small scale shop. Whereas what is a large scale like project? It will be large scale project can be if I make it online. So let's say I have today 10 different people who have ordered tea. Let's say I have made a website like Chayos. So Chayos is a online tea company, like where you can order tea. In Bangalore it works. I'm not sure about the other parts of India. If it works, do let me know in the comment section, right? So basically, let's say like you have one Chayos kind of online vendor, right? So someone, let's say you are expecting that in the first week 100 people will order. So you will be able to cater to 100 people. Let's say tomorrow 10,000 people have all of a sudden ordered the tea, right? So then also you will be capable enough, you should be capable enough to cater all the 10,000 people. Now you'll be asking, hey Sandeep, now there also I don't have enough resources. Here also we don't have in the online thing as well. In the online thing, as at least you can contact to other vendors, right? For example, instead of Chayos, there is another company called Chaiwala. You can have a collaboration with them. That okay, I have a sudden rise in number of teacups which has been ordered. Why don't we share the orders and we will just do it on the fly? There, while in the physical shop, you don't have any place to sit. In the online, there is no such constraint, right? All you need is you need the resources, a lot of milk, a lot of tea leaves and stuff, and obviously cooks to build it. You can basically outsource things and you can basically meet the demands. So that is a small example of what I could think of just on the fly, that what is a small scale and large scale system. All right, guys. Let's see if you have any questions, any queries. Oh, Delhi and Ghazi are just there. Okay, that's good. Good. Another small scale, like if I have to talk about small, like an applications level, suppose when I am making one application, right? A small application, let's say my time pass application kind of thing. So it might work good with 100 people, 1,000 people, but it might not work with a million users hitting on the single day. Even you know that even big companies like Amazon and Flipkart, they have trembled during the big billion day. You know, right? What happened in the very first big billion day back in 2012, I guess. Sorry, in 2016, I guess, right? So many people have jumped into their website that their website crashed. I think it happened in the last year as well, when I think there was some iPhone demand. I think iPhone was you were getting iPhone for a big discount. So too many people ordered it and it got crashed. That means they didn't have their server still not ready for basically entertaining or so much traffic in such short span of time. Obviously, they are prepared for many other things. Maybe for some aspect, they are still not ready, right? Completely. So that's an example of basically when you even miss out small things when you are creating one large scale system. Okay, so till now we have talked a lot about non-tech stuff. So now we will go deeper into more about technical stuff. I hope you will enjoy it. And if you have any doubt at any point of time, please write in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer that. All right, guys. So first point is when you are trying to create a large scale system is scalability. What is the meaning for scalability? Scaling means if your project, your application works for one user, it should and must work for 1 million user or probably more than that. It should not work like, okay, it will work for 10 users, but it cannot work for 25 users, right? Your system, whenever you are making an application of such large scale, right? Your application should be like competent enough that tomorrow if you want to increase its scale, right, or it should be tomorrow if you get a huge traffic, that time your application should be able to cater all the people, right? So like I said, like the best example of this Flipkart only, right? When before the big billion day, they had made all these marketing in big newspaper, in big hoardings, in TV advertisement, everywhere, right? So they might have thought that, okay, maybe we will get 2 million users coming to our website, but they might not have thought of 10 million users will come to our website. And when such a huge number of people or huge number of customers have came to their website crashed, right? So basically your application should be scaled, should be should have the potential enough to be scaled whenever needed, right? So that is one of the most important thing. Is that clear, guys? Scalability. Okay. Delhi too. Okay. Okay. Good. Also, guys, all of these things, whatever I'm teaching in today's masterclass, trust me, this is important. Why? Where it will be very useful for you? It will be useful when you are. Thank you, Apurva. So it will be useful when you are appearing for a system design round. Trust me, like when you are appearing for big companies, for example, Microsoft, Google, right? In many big companies, that time it is one of the round they have is system design round. So they will give you one application. It can be WhatsApp, it can be Discord, it can be, let's say, Amazon, Uber, whatever, right? You have to basically explain all of these components what I am teaching you today, right? And that time in 1 hour you have to discuss that what are the components we will be having, right? What are these design principles, like I said, the scalability, security, and all these things, right? So all of these things you have to tell in that interview, and it is one of the most important round out there while you are appearing. So that's called the system design. You can Google it, you can find out, like there will be n number of videos on YouTube on these things specifically: how to design WhatsApp, how to design Uber, how to design, let's say, Ola, Zomato, all these kind of big applications. Because when you are basically joining these big companies, you will be working on these large scale applications. So you have to think big. You have to think of all these important components which I'm teaching you today, right? So please be attentive and make sure you are having your ears and brains open to get the maximum from this class. Okay, guys. Next is availability. In simple words, availability means it should be available 24/7, 365, right? The best example, again, I will go back and I'll give you the example of your website of IRCTC, suppose, right? Now just imagine IRCTC, for every 10 minutes, it gets thousands of requests. So every minute it is down, IRCTC or Indian Railways might face a lot of loss. Though that's a different thing. Since we are Indians, we will try again and again. Another example can be Google, right? So whenever Google server is down, even for, let's say, 1 minute, they have hundreds and $1,000s of losses every time, right? So you can just check out, like last time, I think it happened in December last year or somewhere around November last year, as far as I remember. So Google was down for more than half an hour. Even Teams of Microsoft was down. So there was a huge loss. Why it is a loss? Because for that span of time, nobody was able to use these applications. When no one is able to use this application for half an hour, so for example, in those half an hour, Google could have shown, let's say, their advertisement to 1 million different users. So that is a loss, right? That's a viewership loss for them. So advertisers won't pay for the time the Google was down, isn't it? So for every minute the Google is down or YouTube is down, they have to face a lot of loss, isn't it? Yeah, exactly, right? So Insta and WhatsApp, like when Facebook is down, there is no one will be able to access those applications. So Instagram won't be able to show you the advertisements, and when they are not able to show you their advertisements, obviously their revenue will go down for that particular moment. So let's say for half a day it is down, it will be in millions. Trust me. So that is why they have to make sure absolutely that their application is available for 24/7 and 365 days a year. Not even a single second it can go down, isn't it? So what do you think? What availability is important or not? Yeah, exactly. Right? So your application has to be available for every second, for every millisecond, it should be up, right? So basically, we have some live chart. Like when I am working as a software engineer, so we engineers have to go on a duty. So duty is like for a week, we are something called, this is called developer on duty. So our duty is the application which we are making, right? It should be up and running. And let's say it is down, then we have to do all the crazy things in that second itself to make sure that application is again up. And that thing can happen at 1:30 a.m. also, 3:30 a.m. also, and in the daytime also. So instantly, if something goes down, basically we have a live chart, as you saw in a stock market chart, live chart. So similarly, we have the, let's say when I am interacting with you on Zoom. So Zoom will have a developer on duty at this particular moment, sitting somewhere in US or China, I'm not sure. So they will be having these live graph, right? So instantly, let's say Zoom server is down. So instantly they will have a panic call. So there will be automated call to all these engineers. They have to fix it in milliseconds, literally in seconds, right? Because every second counts. For every second it is down, there are huge losses which the company has to incur, isn't it? So that's a tough job, which we have to do, right? Yeah, ticket solving, exactly. So availability is another important thing, guys, and it's a part of the job. When you are making big, you have to make sure your application is available 24/7. Next, the reliability. What do you mean by the reliability? Reliability basically the reliability means that your application should be reliable. Reliable means what? Okay, let's take an example of Google Maps. Anyone remember freedom? Yeah, that's what. That guy was anyways a hoax, Neeraj. I hope so you have not lost your 251 rupees. But yes, they were not prepared, guys. When you are basically getting ready to entertain such huge traffic, you have to make sure that you have huge server capacities, like load capacities, which your server can undertake. If your servers are not ready, obviously your server will crash, right? If it doesn't solve, obviously no increment and no promotions. A lot of people will get very nice emails from the upper management, and they will have a very nice time. So that's what happens, Putariti. Yeah, and these things happens. It's a part of job. But yes, we have to be really utmost sure that the things get back in time as soon as possible, right? Else, like, it get escalated to upper management like that, right? So first you will get a ping, then your manager will get ping, then manager's manager will get ping. Ping means like they got a call, so like that. So they will get a bashing, right? They will get anger calls. So those anger things will come to your level. So all these things happens when such things happen, like when your application is not available. Yeah, reliability I was talking about, guys. So reliability means, now suppose you are using Google Maps, right? It should be reliable enough. What do you mean by reliability? Reliability means when you're driving on road, it's working, it is fine. But let's say due to some reason, when you are in the forest area, or let's say when you're going inside the tunnel, Google is crashing or it is not working at all. Will you use next time the Google Maps? No, right? You will try to opt for something else, isn't it? So every time there is some reliability issue, means an application is not working properly, every time people will try to find an alternative, isn't it? So that's what happened, guys. Reliability is one of the most important factor to make sure that people or your users are there with you, or they will stick with you, isn't it? So Zoom call, we are working with the Zoom call. So right now, even if after 2 hours of session, it is working fine. But just imagine after every 15 or 17 minutes, the Zoom call is keep on dropping. Will you use Zoom call next time? No, right? You will try to go find an alternative. Probably we will meet on Google Hangout or Teams or some other online communication application, right? That's why reliability is important when in order to gain the trust of the user. Else you might have today 250 million customers, but if your application is keep crashing, in no time you will have, let's say, 100 customers. And we have saw it happening like in many startups, right? So reliability is one more important thing in the large scale system. Is it clear, guys? So we have read about availability, reliability, and scalability. But is this clear or not? Does reliability mean security too? No, security concerns lead to less reliable application, but not the other way around. So for example, if there is a hacking attack to your application, right? If someone has, I think in between during the Corona time itself, there was some, I think, news articles came that many schools were using Zoom application. Then hackers have went inside their Zoom call, and their photo appear in the Zoom call, right? That was a security attack, right? That is a hacking attack to Zoom, isn't it? So that time it leads to less trust towards Zoom. Many people or many schools have moved from Zoom to other applications, right? All right, next. Extensibility. Extensibility means you should be able to add a new feature without any problem. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, one second, let me think of a quick example. Yeah. Extensibility means basically in your existing application, you should be able to add more features. Okay, I'll give you some real life example, guys. So let's say this watch, right? You're wearing your watch. Your watch is digital, right? Digital means it shows you number and stuff like that. Can you make it analog as a new feature? No, right? You cannot have those what do you call those minute hand and hour hand. You cannot have it, right? Once whatever you have put in that chip of your watch, it will always be there. You cannot modify it. Just like our voting machine, isn't it? So voting machine is a kind of machine which is just only work of a voting machine is whatever party you want to vote for, that party will get your vote. That's all. Can you extend it? No, right? You cannot add any more feature. Basically, you cannot modify your thing at all, isn't it, guys? Whereas when you are buying one desktop application, right? Desktop, that CPU thing, that big dabba, right? So today, let's say you have a 4 GB of RAM. Tomorrow, you can extend it. You can expand it to 8 GB without any problem. You can add more graphic card, right? So basically, it is giving you feature, or it is giving you enough options to basically expand it or extend it. Whereas maybe your laptop, right? Instead of voting machine, let's take an example of laptop. So laptop, maybe you at most you can increase your RAM from 4 GB to 8 GB, right? That slot remains the same, but you cannot tomorrow add one graphic card to your laptop. It is not possible, simply. So basically, you cannot extend your laptop, but your desktop, you can extend it. So similarly, when you are making a website or a system, right? You should not make it like once you have made it, you cannot add any new feature. If you add a new feature, then it will completely break. So your system should not be like that. It should always be ready to new features to be added to your system. Okay, the quality of being trustworthy or performing consistently. Yeah. Extendability. Is it clear? Right? Okay, good. Awesome. Awesome then. I hope you are enjoying and you are understanding the class, whatever I am teaching right now. Say yes or no. I'll get a live feedback at least. Okay, good. Awesome then. Good. All right, guys. So let's move to the next thing. Next is maintainability. Maintainability means when you are making these large scale system, it should be easy to maintain. What is the meaning for maintenance? Maintenance means the best example of this is I am from Bengal, so I can give you an very good example for that. Howrah Bridge, everybody knows about Howrah Bridge, right? So I think 8 years back, Howrah Bridge needs some repairing. Since, as you know, yeah, servicing. So, as you know, Howrah Bridge was built by the Britishers. So, our engineers could not basically fix those things which whatever servicing it needed. They had to call the British engineers. So that means it is very tough to maintain or to add a servicing for that, isn't it? Right? So similarly, you should not make any application that since you have made it, only you will be able to maintain it. Since you know the code, it should not be like that. It should be that whatever you have written, that anyone who is overtaking your work, they should be able to maintain your code. They should be able to modify your code. They should be able to add new features to your code, right? So like all of those things, guys. So it should not be like you have made a code and you left the company and the entire company is going down. So it should not be like that. That's not a good thing. So whenever you are making a large scale application, you should be at most sure that your code or your application is easy to maintain. So that user can use, when we use any application, some bugs are there. We have to maintain the application so that users can use freely. Yeah, exactly. Maintenance is basically like you should be able to modify. Some features are not required. There is some bugs are there. You should be able to basically resolve those bugs. All of those things. Right. Yeah, you can say that. Mutation is one thing. Another thing is it should be easy to basically people to understand your code and do the changes. Obviously, anyone can change your code. That's not a problem. But if you write your application in such a way, commented code, let's say you are basically following all the good coding standards, right? You are following all the design principles, everything, right? So all of those things when you're right, how I know that this is a bug and Neeraj bug, basically you are able to find from the UI. For example, I'm not able to share my screen, or when I have shared the screen, automatically it got unshared. That is a bug, which Zoom people have to solve. Modularity, yeah, modularity is an excellent example of it. Exactly, yeah. How I know this bug, okay, yeah. So, like I said, okay, there it is. Maintainability. Another thing, fault tolerance. What is the meaning for fault tolerance? The excellent example of fault tolerance is, let's say one aeroplane which is flying at the altitude of 30,000 feet. If one of the engine goes down, then also it should be able to land safely. It should not be like one of the engine is down and the plane crashed. Similarly, when you have uploaded your applications, right? It should not be like if there is an error at one part of your application, it is crashing the entire application, right? So that should not be the case. So for example, is like your Facebook. It's if there is some problem in the chat part, that messenger is not working properly. It should not have effect on the feed. Basically, any error in the messenger part, right? It should not have a direct effect on other feature of Facebook. That is a problem, isn't it? So basically, it should be capable enough to tolerate the fault. That is the meaning of fault tolerance. Backup plan, yeah, backup plan, you can say that, right? So that's the thing, right? So there's a plan B. So if there is some attack also, if there is some error which we have introduced, so basically it should not crash the entire application. Your application should be fault tolerant, right? It should not be crashed entirely. That is another important thing when you are designing a large scale system. Okay. All right. Next. There are other things, for example, security, performance, and testability. Okay, I will talk about the security. Obviously, whenever you are making an application, it should be the same is applicable for an website too. Exactly, right? So Ishita, that's what, like, all these things, yeah, whenever like you have your website, you have uploaded it to some server. Let's say the server is down, right? If one of the let's say you have uploaded your website to 10 different servers. If one of the server is down, your entire application should not be down, right? So that is the thing that is called the fault tolerance. At least your application should be up and running with the remaining 9 servers. So that is called the fault tolerance. So basically, like Apurva has said, we should have a backup plan in such scenario whenever there are some problems. And it always happens, guys. I think lastly, very recently, Microsoft faced such problem, right? In which like their entire Teams was down. People were not able to use Teams for more than, I think, 12 or 13 hours, right? So, but the point is, it only affected the people who are there in the Southeast Asia. It didn't affected the people who are there in the North America, South America, and Australia and Africa region. That means they have a backup plan so that it is when there is some problem, it is only affecting the affected areas. It is not leading to the entire server or entire application getting down from the entire world. Isn't it, guys? Okay. I hope so. This is clear. Okay, good. So we are going through the security performance. Then we will take a short break, probably of 5 minutes. Okay. Next, security. What do you mean by security? Security means your application should be ready. Like banking. Okay, yeah. So basically, security means your application should be ready to face any kind of security threats. Security threats like what? A basic example can be DDoS attack. How many of you are aware of DDoS attack? Anyone knows about DDoS attack? All right, I will tell you. It is very interesting. Yeah, DDoS attack. DDoS or DOS attack. DDoS, I think, denial of service attack. Okay, I will just explain you in a quick 2 minutes. And it is very interesting attack, and it happened to many websites back in 2010, 2012 region, right? Before 2012. After that, I have not heard of it, but still it is happening to many government websites. Whenever we have some hacking attack from Chinese, North Korea, or Pakistan, right? It is one of the denial of service attack. Exactly. Yeah. Hi, Himanshu. Okay. So denial of service attack means, so let's say, guys, you have an application. Let's say you guys have created your own version of, let's say, Dukaan.com. You guys have made a competitor of Dukaan.com. You are basically saying that we can entertain at max 10,000 daily users. Why you can say that? Basically, in order to entertain 10,000 users, you need to have some servers. Servers are nothing but a computers, isn't it? Right? I think you I hope so you guys are aware of it, right? They are nothing but a computers. So they have some capacity or capabilities. For example, let's say our computer have like 10 GB of RAM, and it has got 1 TB of hard disk or hard drive. And that's it. This is our capacity of our servers or server computer. So in order to entertain 10,000 requests per day, you need to have this much capacity. If it exceeds more than 10,000, right, you have to increase your RAM from 10 GB to probably, let's say, 16 GB or something like that, whatever it is, right? If you don't then your server will completely crash. Crash means it won't work at all. That means you can say that at max I can entertain 10,000 people. Now, just imagine that I wrote a code, right, such that I am making 10,000 dummy calls to these servers parallelly. With a two line of code, I can basically do that, and there is no big deal in that. So if I do that, what will happen? All the requests will come from just my computer, and this dukan.com, which was catering to, let's say, 10,000 different users per day, it won't be able to take any request at all. This is very common practice between two competing businesses. For example, Amazon and Flipkart is there. So Flipkart has done this. They have wrote a code in order to make the server of Amazon down. What will happen? So people will try to access Amazon.com. So obviously they won't be able to access it. So obviously now they will come to Flipkart.com. So this will give an edge for in the competition scenario, isn't it? So it is quite a common attack, DOS attack, not DDoS, I think DOS attack, right? So it was quite common, and I think these days also it is quite common. But these days, what happens is most of the servers have some securities. Security in the sense like if too many requests are coming from a single IP address. So obviously, since this is a single computer, so it will have a unique IP address. If too many requests are coming from a single or similar IP address, they will basically block this. So that if they block it, so obviously their request won't reach it. And this way, we will divert the DOS attack. Is it clear, guys? Yes, exactly, Ishita. Every time there is an increase in the request, you have to increase the number of servers. DOS attack, is it clear, guys? I hope so, it is clear, the DOS attack. The security one, it is out of many vulnerabilities, it is one of the, yeah, DOS, yeah, it can be prevented by the CAPTCHA as well. But Prasad, CAPTCHA is good when you are, let's say you have a sign up. But for example, when you're accessing a website, Amazon, so obviously you cannot ask your users to have a CAPTCHA in order to access or adding things to your cart, right? Yes, server not responding, exactly, Putaradi. So I'll have to increase my memory capacity, exactly. Servers are basically giant storage. Yes, servers are nothing but a computers. You can imagine it like that. Right now, while we are talking with one another, we are talking via servers of Zoom. What are servers? Servers are nothing but just a CPU, which is working in series or parallel, like that, right? Which are working together in order to cater our request. So more are the number of users, more number of servers you require. From different IP address, so that's what, from different IP address, K Prasad, then also you won't be able to, it won't have any effect. For example, my server will take the hit if there are, let's say, 10,000 requests are coming in 1 single second. So let's say obviously you cannot have 10,000 different IP address, right? If you do that, then also it won't have any effect, because that is like practically impossible, isn't it? That is not, that won't be any DOS attack as such. For 10,000 different IP address means you have 10,000 people who are sitting together and then trying to hit my server. Yes. Okay. It's expensive. Exactly. Prasad, I hope so. It is clear. Okay. Rest is performance. It should be performance means I think there is a very, very common quote. I think if your website, right? If the Google page loads, let's say right now it is loading in 10 milliseconds. I'm just giving an example. If instead of 10 milliseconds, if it takes, let's say 1.5 seconds, Google will lose more than 15% of their total users. Means people don't have that much time to keep on waiting. right? They are very, very impatient. They want everything to be working like this with a snap of a finger, right? So your application or your website cannot be slow. It should be very, very fast, or it should be performant. That's the meaning of performance, right? So when you're making a big application, you have to make sure that it is very, very fast. That particular data, I have forgot the exact data. Maybe after break, I will give you the exact data. I think Google has released like for every 1 second addition, yeah, you will lose this much customers, right? So, okay, guys, we are taking a short 5 minutes break and we are meeting at 9 o'clock. I hope that's okay for you. Please grab a glass of water and I will also do the same. See you at 9:01 then. It's already 56. And by the time, if you have any doubt, please do let me know in the chat section. All right, guys. Thank you. Okay, hello guys. So we will continue. Okay, let me know if you're able to see my screen. Where can we get code of those app? Those app in the sense, please can you elaborate, Purushottam? Okay, good. So I was telling about this research. I just found it online. About the Google, there was one. I will show it later probably. Yeah, I think Google has also released their official data, but there was a research which they have took some people and they found out that if your page basically loads in 2 seconds, there is a high chance that 9.6% of the total people will bounce off. Means they are not ready to wait for your page to load in 2 seconds. Just imagine, right? And if your page loads in around 7 seconds, then you can expect that 32% of the visitor will just leave and they go to some other website. That means that whenever you are making an application, it is utmost important that it is loading under 2 seconds, right? So what is the point? Like you have made one applications or uh, big large scale applications. You have spent so much on the marketing and stuff, but people are not using it, right? Because it is loading slow, right? So performance is another big factor. So I hope so. Now you are aware of these major principles which we have taught. Testability is, of course, like whether you should be able to test it, right? Just a small and straight thing. So yeah, these are some of the most important principles. So obviously, next time when you are appearing for the design system design round, even if you are able to explain these things properly, right? With the proper examples, trust me, you have conquered half of the war, right? So these things are at most important whenever you are designing a large scale application. Do let me know if you have any doubt, guys. Have you learned? How was it? Whether you are able to understand it, or is it easy? Is it tough? Okay, no response. Or maybe Zoom is slow. Is it able to understand? Okay, easy. Good. Awesome then. Now we will be talking about the next one. By the way, like I wanted to know that how many of you are aware of all these coding, front end, back end? Are you guys code, or how much exposure you guys have in terms of coding? Are you aware of JavaScript? Have you coded in JavaScript? Merge stack. Okay, that's great. Able to understand. Okay. Wow, good. Aware of React. Okay. Oh, that's good. Awesome. I got too many yeses. Okay. Awesome then. HTML is a JavaScript Python. Okay, good. Awesome. Awesome. Good. So about the front end, so we are just going through the basic technologies, which these so we are right now covering this Discord application. We are not going to the yeah. 1 second. Yeah. So basically, now we'll be talking about the technologies behind Discord. What are the basic languages we work on while making an application like Discord, right? I am not going to the application specific. They use something called Equinox, right? I'm not going over there, but I'm giving you a rough or basic idea that if you are at their places and you want to create something like Discord, what are the application you should know? What are the languages, right? And libraries and frameworks you should know in order to make such application. So obviously, every application has a front end and back end, as you know. So in the front end, you should at most must know, of course, about the HTML and CSS. Without that, you cannot imagine any web application, as you know, because your web application runs on browser, and browser understand HTML and CSS. There is no other thing which can replace these, obviously, right? Next thing, of course, we use something called Electron. What is Electron? Electron is a framework which is being used in order to make desktop application, right? So there is, with the help of React also, you can make desktop application. React do provide such things. I forgot the exact name. I think it was Flux or something, but yes, Electron is another one. It is more like a JavaScript as far as I know, right? And it is basically being used to make your desktop application. What is the meaning for desktop application? Means the application which you can install in your computers, right? In your Python or in your, sorry, not Python, in your Mac or in your Windows machine, right? So for your desktop application, we use something called Electron.js, right? And finally, for web application, obviously React is quite popular, and they have also used the same called React, right? For mobile application, again, I'm not I didn't found enough resource what they are using for their mobile. One option can be, of course, like they can make it with the help of Android, the native Android, but also they could have used React Native. Since you guys are aware, can anyone tell me what is the use of developing a mobile application with React Native instead of Android native application? Do you have any idea? Flutter, yeah, okay. Flutter is an option, but I'm saying like, okay, what is the advantage of developing it as a mobile application using React Native instead of Java, means using Flutter or any other language? Can anyone tell me? Why React Native we can use instead of others? Why we can prefer basically? Okay. Okay. Can replicate exact thing. Exactly, Putarity. You are absolutely right. Basically, when you are making an application, when you are making different components using React, right? So obviously you can reuse your code. Your development time will be saved drastically, right? It will reduce drastically, right? So basically React Native is also a React. Only thing is that its outer shell and the way it is working, only those things are different. So you can make, since you guys knows about React, so basically you can make common components for both your desktop application and mobile application. So it will reduce your development time, isn't it, guys? So what you would have chosen, Android Studio or React Native? No, Node.js is different issue though. Node.js is for the backend, right? We are coming over that. Okay. So I guess you guys are able to understand why React Native we could have used. So there are various pros and cons. So these things can also be asked in your interviews like, okay, what are the pros and cons of React Native? So pros is of course like you can reuse your code, but when you're making an application with a native Android, one thing is for sure, it is much more performant, right? So React Native is more or less is an layer above Android, the native Android, right? But when you are working or when you are writing something with the Android Studio, I mean to say the native Android, that is much more performant. Your Android application are much faster when you compare with it with React Native. That is one of the cons. Yeah, exactly, K Prasad. Yeah, of course, like I said, that since so it's very easy to develop it. Number one, number two, React developers are quite easy to find because your web application developer or web developers can become a mobile developer with the help of React Native. Only thing which is which goes as the con is it is quite slow when you compare it to with the Android native application. Okay, next. So backend, about the backend, we use three major things, guys, right? So they also use something called Equinox. Like I said, that I'm skipping it for now so that I don't want you you to get confused with the too much of these new terms, but I want to give you an overview of the entire tech stack, the basic tech stack, right? So there's something called Scala as the database, right? So it is a NoSQL database. So NoSQL data means it don't have a proper structure. React Native, yeah, there are many. I think Ishita, there are many. So I forgot. So React Native for Angular also there is one, right? If you know the Angular, with the help of Angular, you can make that. Android like application. These are called hybrid application. First of all, right? And Expo, yeah, right? So that's called an Expo. Using Expo, you can make Android application again. So yeah, it is again, it is like a JavaScript only. Using React, you can make it, and Expo is a layer on which you can basically test your application. There are various tools. So basically, just search the hybrid application. How to make hybrid application? Hybrid means an application which can run on everything from mobile to your tablets to your desktop application and to your web application, right? So there are various libraries out there. You can, yeah, Ionic framework, exactly, Puta. Ready, yeah. Okay, moving on to the backend. Like I said, it is a NoSQL database. NoSQL database means if you guys are aware of this SQL database, right? Suppose MySQL, it has a proper structure. What is the meaning of proper structure? It has a proper number of columns. You have the data types, a set data types, right? What will be the column name? What kind of data that particular column can have? Everything is very much fixed. Whereas NoSQL database don't have any fixed structure. If today it is expecting, or it is just two fields, suppose name and roll number. Tomorrow it can be name, roll number, let's say school as well. Day after tomorrow it can be name, roll number, parents name as well. So there is no fixed structure. Whereas in SQL data structure, you need to define at the very beginning while creating a table, right? Okay, this is my table. I will have these many columns. What are the columns I can have? I can have, let's say, name, roll number, school. Let's say I didn't have any column for the parent name. So if I don't have any parent name, and if I try to save a data which have the parent name, instantly my request will crash the server. So that is the major difference between SQL and NoSQL database. Is it clear, guys? It's quite important difference, and it's quite important to know basically. SQL and NoSQL database. Okay. I hope so that is clear. If you have any doubt, do let me know. All right, next one. Obviously, they use Express.js in order to create the APIs, right? So APIs, as you know, where you want to communicate with the server, you need to. Non-SQL is preferably making desktop application. No, it's not. It's not very it's not clear cut. It is up to your company, right? And tech stack, like which tech stack you want to work on. Both have different use cases, right? Based upon your team, you will select a particular database type, right? So one use or one advantage of NoSQL database is it is very easy for horizontal scaling. So there are two things, guys. This is again a new concept or an important concept, right? Please look carefully. And anyways, this will be covered in your backend classes, right? When we will be covering the Node.js classes with you, that time we will cover these things in detail and in depth. Okay. So there are two things, guys. One is horizontal scaling, right? And another thing is vertical scaling. Sorry for my handwriting. This tablet is not working very efficiently. Yeah. So horizontal scaling. Vertical scaling. So let's suppose you have a server. So your server has a configuration. What is the configuration of your server? It got 8 GB of RAM, and let's say it got 80 GB of hard disk. Done. So similarly for the horizontal scaling as well, you have a same server of 8 GB by 80 GB RAM versus hard disk. Now, this configuration of a server is good enough for entertaining 1000 requests, let's say per second. That's good, right? So 1000 request means 1000 different API calls. If someone makes to your server per second, your server will be able to respond to them without any issue. Now, let's suppose tomorrow you are saying that instead of 1000, I will have 2000 request. In that case, what he will do? In this part, in the vertical scaling, in this type of like server, what you will do is you will increase it to 16 GB of RAM and 82 to 160 GB of hard disk. But in this type of scaling or this type of server, which is working on with the vertical scaling, you will basically replicate. Means you will add one more server in parallel with this. What is the use for this? So one server will have 80 by 80 configuration, another server will have 80 by 80 configuration. Is it clear, guys? How I am increasing the server capacity. One is adding a new server altogether. Another is improving the hardware, right? Increasing the hard disk and the RAM. Is this clear or not? Is this clear or not? Till now, whatever I have taught, how I'm increasing the capacity. Okay, good. So now you see the problem here. You see, now let's say instead of 2000, I am saying that I will get 10,000 requests per second. So 10,000 means I need to have 8 into 10, 80 GB of RAM. And 80 into 10, that is 800 GB of hard disk. Now, guys, 800 GB of hard disk is easy to get. For 80 GB RAM support, you need to change your motherboard, right? You need to have those kind of heavy motherboards, which should support, let's say, 1 TB of RAM. But what will happen if instead of 10,000 requests per second, tomorrow we have one more zero and we are saying that we'll have 1 lakh requests per second. That time, let's say, you can basically increase your RAM capacity to an extent, to a limit. You cannot exceed that. And every time you are adding a new chip, right, it is very, very costly. Whereas here, what you have to do? Okay, you are saying that I have to increase the capacity by 10 times. I will increase 10 different machines with each having a similar configuration of 8 by 80. Tomorrow we have 1 lakh. Oh, it's okay. I'll have, let's say, 100 more servers. Isn't it? So this will be scaling. This way is much more easier than this, guys. Right? So vertical scaling easy or horizontal scaling is easy? What do you think? Vertical or horizontal? Horizontal is this. That's why you can make the server in parallel, and vertical scaling is this one above another. You have to increase the configuration of your computer. Configuration is fixed in horizontal scaling. No, configuration is not like you. It is not mandatory to have it fixed. Basically, so one server may have 8 GB of RAM, another can be 16 GB of RAM. So it is up to you. But it's actually up to you, right? So usually what we have is like we have an average out servers. Let's say in the market, the most optimum price of a RAM versus hard disk is, let's say, 16 GB of RAM and let's say 1 TB of hard disk. So we will have most of the servers in that configuration. If we increase it to 32 GB, then it might have costly. If we reduce it to 8 GB, then it is again, maybe it is costly. So that is an optimum, I think, capacity which the server admins or the cloud service companies decide. So what do you think, guys? Which one is preferable? Horizontal scaling or vertical scaling? What do you think? Horizontal scaling. Yeah, exactly. Good. So the last thing is when we MongoDB, the applications like, sorry, MongoDB means the database like MongoDB, Scala, right? These works basically very good with horizontal scaling. Whereas the database like MySQL, right? SQL Server, all these things, all these kind of SQL database, they works good with the vertical scaling. So these are kind of old in the old days. Now also in the bankings, everywhere they use these kind of MySQL like database where we do the vertical scaling. But new age software companies like a Facebook, like Amazon, like Google, everyone use or prefer the horizontal scaling. Even banks are upgrading themselves, but it takes time. So is it interesting, guys? Horizontal versus vertical? Yeah, exactly. Vertical is easy, but horizontal is efficient. Vertical has a limit, isn't it, guys? After a certain point of time. So if you have a desktop in your home, I don't think so you can exceed your RAM beyond a limit. Your mother won't support basically, isn't it, guys? Okay. All right. So that's what. And finally, we have something called RabbitMQ. RabbitMQ is an excellent, I think, library which is used for the real-time communication. Wherever we have a real-time communication means whenever we are chatting, let's say voice chat, let's say video chat, right? Video communication, everywhere we use RabbitMQ, right? Yes, Kafka is another example, right? Okay, guys. So finally, we will be looking through how our Discord works, right? So I think this is the final part which you need to understand. After that, we will have the quiz. I hope so. You guys have been able to understand the part, whatever I have taught you till now. If you have any doubt at any point of time, feel free to leave a comment in the chat section. Okay, guys. Now we will see that how Discord or basically distributed messaging system works, right? So we will take some example. Basically, we are saying that in our Discord server, we have the user A, user B, user C, and D. You can imagine them in, if you cannot connect with the Discord, you can imagine them in your WhatsApp group. What happens behind the scene or behind your mobile applications, how it works, that's what we gonna see here. Please look carefully, guys, and it is quite important. Okay, so we have these users, user A, user B, C, and D. So A, B, C are basically interacting or communicating via, let's say, WhatsApp web or Discord web. Whereas the user D is interacting with the Discord or this messaging server via an Android application, right? So next major component, which we have something called gateway. So what is a gateway? So gateway is like a middle tier. Middle tier means intermediate server. What is the use for this? Use for this is there are various uses. One of the major use is your front end. Your front end code should not be able to recognize or see what are my backend services. Okay, I will make it more easier for you. For example, if I am saying that I have made one API, right? I have made, okay, I'll just do it here and one second. For example, I have a UI which I have wrote with the help of React application. I am saying that I have some APIs. Let's say my API is a get type. I hope so you guys know get is for getting the data from the server, right? So my get API's URL will look something like slash message, right? then it expects some fixed structure of data. And whatever you are basically accessing this particular API, your server is consuming it directly. Now, this is good. This is completely okay that you are calling an API directly from the server, but it actually increases one security threat. What is a security threat? Now, the thing is your React code is visible to everyone. When I say everyone, everyone means one genuine user and also one hacker, isn't it? So they can see the React. When they can read your React code, they can see that, okay, my server have an API which ends at /messages and which is expecting this particular structure of data, right? So they know n number of ways by which they can crash this server, right? Maybe by manipulating this, by sending some vulnerable messages to this, and all of those things. So that's why we want to put something called a gatekeeper. What is the use of gatekeeper? Gatekeeper acts as an encapsulation. By encapsulation means basically it acts as a firewall between your front end and your backend. So basically it will go through each and every request. It will sanitize them. By sanitizing, I mean to say it will check whether this is good or bad request or what it is, right? Also, it will hide some of the server complexities. By server complexities means which particular server it is, where it is located, what is its IP address, what particular data structure it wants. All of those things it will hide from the front end, right? So it will, let's say, get the data from the front end in some ambiguous data structure. It will create the data structure or the request appropriately, like however your server wants, and finally it will request to your server, right? So it acts as a firewall or separation between your front end and back end. So HTTP and HTTPS is a different concept, Hawk 1, right? So HTTPS, prevention of XSS attack, yeah, those things are there. What I am saying is, it is just not the XSS attack. There are a lot of other attacks, right? If they know about your server, where it is located. For example, your server can be located in many different locations. Based upon your nearest server, it will have a different URL. So if it is exposed to your front end, they will know that which particular server is entertaining your request. That can be a security threat. So yeah, one of the use of this gateway, there are many uses of this gatekeeper actually. One is this, that they want to have a separation between your front end and back end. This is number one. Number two, now this is again an important thing. For example, you have a server. Your servers are usually located at different geolocations. What do you mean by geolocation? It means your servers can be located in different continents. For example, there can be multiple servers in European Union, multiple servers in USA, multiple servers in Asia, right? So basically, this gatekeeper will decide which server is nearest to you, which I should contact, right? So since I am hitting the URL from the India, so the nearest server will be somewhere in Asia. It can be in Taiwan, it can be in Mumbai, isn't it, guys? So this thing also is being decided by your gatekeeper, isn't it, guys? Is this clear? Is this clear, guys? Gatekeeper's job, what we are discussing right now. Okay, good. So, and one very good example about this is you might have saw, I'm not sure how many of you are that much old. So I remember that before 2012, I guess, right? YouTube used to work really, really slow, pathetically slow, right? Even 8 GB of, let's say, internet connection back in those days used to buffer, like I used to buffer my YouTube videos. Then what YouTube did is they have actually set up more servers in Asia when they knew that we are having a large user base in India. So they had set up many users, yeah, many servers near Taiwan and Southeast Asia. And finally, I think very recently, back in 2015 or 16, they have also made their servers available in Mumbai. So all the YouTube, whatever you are watching right now, is being catered from the Mumbai server, right? Also, they have recently, very recently, they have set up their servers in Hyderabad as well. So most of your request to the YouTube is coming from Hyderabad and Mumbai, isn't it, guys? So it's very useful because, like, just imagine that your request is coming from USA, even though our request travels at the speed of light, but then also it can cause a delay of milliseconds, which can be super frustrating, isn't it, guys? Because people want live score and live videos instantly. Yeah. Okay, good. Data centers from India. Yeah. So Hyderabad and Mumbai are the two primary locations where we have most of the data centers from Microsoft Azure and from the Google, as far as I know. Even for AWS as well, we have most of the servers in Mumbai. Okay, good. Next. So, like I said, that gatekeeper will be there and it will be basically deciding which server I should be able to communicate. So let's suppose we are taking an example that user A is broadcasting a message, means in the group he is typing something, right? So when he or she is typing something, or when he or she have basically made wrote a text message, so obviously that text message should be visible to every user in that particular group, right? So, and one more thing which you got to notice is every user is connected to different gatekeepers, right? Gateway, basically. This is gateway 1, this is gateway 2, this is gateway 3, right? So next, what happens is, let's say user A has typed one message. So it will go to gateway 1. So it will choose number 1, who all are the receiver for this message. Okay, who all are receiver for this message. In order to know that, we will come here to something called message broker. Message broker is another software you can imagine it, and very well-known application for this is RabbitMQ. Like I said, it is helpful in making the text message or real-time chat possible. Okay, so what this message broker will do is, it is just a queue. Queue, you know, right? So queue is a data structure which have first in, first out. Means whoever in a queue is like in the bank line, you must have saw. One who is standing in the line first is the one who will leave the line first, just like an ATM line, right? One who is standing at the front, he will take out the money and leave the line first. Similarly, what happens is when you have typed a message, it comes to the gateway 1, and then it will come to the message queue. So message queue, each of these things, each of this gateway have a message queue. So you can imagine it something like this. Can I draw here? Okay, let's see if I can draw here. Okay, so you can imagine it like this will have a queue, and this will again have a queue. Since it is a common, that's why I wrote it there. So what will happen is, so this message, let's say they have written an hi. Okay, what I can do is I can probably, can I scribble here? It would have good if I could have scribbled. One second, guys. Let's see if I can scribble in this one. Okay, I can do something like this. I can use my desktop tool to scribble, basically. 1 second. Yeah. Also, awesome then. I can scribble. Okay. So what I'm saying is, let's suppose you have a queue here, you have a queue here. So queue means what? It is a line which you have. So it is a queue which you have. So first thing first, you said a hi from here. You said a hi. So this hi will go from here to here, gateway 1. Next, from gateway 1, it will go to the message queue somewhere here, right? So there are two things which will happen in this particular location. Number one, it will decide whether I should save this message into the database or not. We will talk about the database part later. Let's talk about how this message is being delivered to the other people. So next thing is, it will basically go through the queue. So all of these gateways will have a queue here. So here I will have a queue. So my hi will go inside this particular line. So suppose after hi, someone has written like hello. So hi will be at the first and hello will be followed by that, right? So what is the meaning for queue? What is the use for this queue? Queue means basically this hi will get delivered to the user C before hello. This is number one. Number two concept. 1 second. I know it is getting a little bit confused. I wish I could have scribbled on it properly. Sorry for that. Yeah. So basically, once this hi and hello got here to the message queue, so it will go towards individual gateway 2 and gateway 3. How? Our message key knows that. So basically, this message queue have a small database of all the user and their corresponding gateway, which they have subscribed to or connected to. So for example, I am sending the data from or message from the user A. So that is in the gate 1. So I am sending this message to the user B, C, and D. I am telling that while I'm sending the message itself. So I will know the address of the gate or which gate they are connected to from this particular database. So I'm saying that user B is connected to gate 1, user C is connected to gate 2, and user D is again connected to gate 3. Okay. So instantly, my message will go to these gates, and at the end, it will be received by these users, right? Is this clear how my messages are getting delivered? Oops, where am I? Where am I? I'm sorry, 1 second. Yeah. FIFO and LIFO, exactly. Is it clear, guys? I hope so. You are able to understand how a message is getting delivered to B, C, and D. Okay. Next, suppose I have to, where it is. Yeah. So suppose I need to save these messages in my database also. So what will happen is, since from here while sending the message itself, I know that who are the receiver of these messages, right? And who is the sender of these messages, right? Number one. So once I am doing that, so gateway 1 will come here, it will go to the message queue. With the help of message queue, basically you are delivering those messages. Another part is you should also be able to save this message in the database, right? So once you do that, again, we will use something called as a load balancer. What is the use of load balancer? Well, load balancer is being used when we have multiple servers, and then we have to choose the appropriate server which will cater my request. Okay, I will just show you in a moment. So for example, I have many servers. I have server S1, I have server S2, I have server S3, right? So each of these can be able to cater 1000 requests per second at max. So for example, right now, I am running at 2500 requests per second. This is my application's limit, means it is running at this capacity right now. So this load balancer, what it will do is, so suppose in this, out of this 2500, first, let's say 1000 requests or nearly 800 requests, it has diverted to server 1. Next 800, it has diverted to server 2. Next 800, it has diverted to server 3. So like this, 2400 requests has been catered. And then again, for 100 requests plus 100, it is diverting to server 1. So suppose any new request which is coming, so it knows that, okay, my server 1 is already running at its capacity of nearly 900. It's better any new request, I will send it to either server 2 or server 3. So this is the use of load balancers. It balances out the load bearing capacity of the server, especially when you have too many servers are working in parallel. Right? So that is again an important concept, load balancers. So once load balancers are good, they will choose the appropriate server. And finally, you will write your data or your chat into the database. So this is how your entire application works end to end. There are a lot of more technicalities are there. In the interest of time, I have skipped some of these, but trust me, all of these things will be covered when we are digging in deep in the Node.js classes, right? For example, one important concept was the entire end-to-end life cycle of the software development, right? This is a quite an important question which is being asked. And of course, the OAuth 2 implementation, it is quite important. And this anyways, we usually make our students to implement in their final project. That's what I did, at least in the final, I think, full stack development project, right? So yeah, that's the major part of it, guys. Load balancer choose servers only during the time of the FIFO. FIFO, first in, first out. Neeraj, can you just tell me which part I should repeat? I will happy to repeat. Yeah. FIFO, no, you are getting confused, Ishita, right? So LIFO and FIFO is two different things. FIFO is for the stack. FIFO is for the queue. LIFO is for the stack. So LIFO, last in, first out. FIFO we have used for our queues, the messaging, the message broker, right? Which is responsible for delivering the messages in a proper order. That time we have used. Load balancers are nothing. They have nothing to do with this LIFO and FIFO and whatever, right? They have nothing to do with the message queue. Their sole job is to balance out the load, right? So suppose your server is running at the capacity, they will tell that, okay, don't go to this bus or this server, go to this particular server. You take an example of your school. You all are going to the picnic, right? You guys are going to the picnic. You are more than, let's say, 100 people, and you have to go in 3 buses, right? Now your teacher will be acting as a load balancer. They know that, okay, this particular bus is getting full, so I have to divert the new students to this bus. I cannot put all the 100 people in one bus, then half of the students are standing and going, which is risky, isn't it, guys? So that's where load balancers or your PT teachers come into play. Got it. Okay. So Neeraj, yeah, please feel free to ask the particular part. So I was just talking about the load balancers. I think I've repeated again. Please do let me know if you have any more confusion. We will wait for 2 minutes more, and else if you don't have any doubt, we will start the Kahoot. And you can tell me, guys, how was it? Have you understood the concepts? I mean, was it interesting? Was it boring? How was it? And if you have any doubt, by the time you can write in the comment as well. I hope you have learned something new today. What do you say? Have you learned something new? How big application works behind the picture, and what all things comes to our mind when we are designing such large scale applications. There are a lot of other things as well, but yeah, I just try to give a gist of it. Also, while taking care that you don't get bombarded with so many new terms and new technologies. I hope so. It was a good learning for you guys. The full stack library used in making Discord apps. Can you repeat the full stack library used in making Discord app? Full stack libraries, as in Ishita, is like, uh, yeah. So one thing is, oh, I forgot to mention that. Okay, in our alma mater sessions, we will be covering, of course, the HTML, CSS end to end. We are also covering React end to end to the literally advanced level. The level enough that even a 5 years old experience you guys can compete with. Trust me, I'm a 9 years experience guy, and I can tell based upon the content which I saw in Elevator. The content is really, really amazing. What I can see. I've really taught many people in last, I think, 8 or 10 months, and the content is really, really amazing, and it is enough to crack an interview faced by a 5 years experience. Easily you can crack if you are giving your 100% in these classes, right? So yeah, we are, I think HTML, CSS is being covered, React is being covered. Scala is we are not covering. We are covering something called MongoDB, which is a NoSQL database once again. We are also covering the SQL database like MySQL. We are covering Express.js, with the help of which you will be able to make your APIs. For example, with my last student, I have made one end-to-end e-commerce website where we tried to sell samosas. Yeah, small application where we tried to make an e-commerce website. And I got an overwhelming response from my students, and they were be able to make it within 7 days. An entire application from front end to database to back end to server to API call, everything they have made it, right? And they were happily able to share it in their resume as well. They have like completed this application. RabbitMQ is very application specific. If it is needed, then we will implement it. Else we usually don't cover. But yes, if it is, let's say in the final project we are making it, then we will use it. But at the end of the day, it is just nothing but a library. Okay. And also we also talk about the deployment. For example, how to use the deployment cloud services like Azure or AWS or GCP. For example, with my last student, I have used GCP in order to deploy. So they have their application running in the Google Cloud. Right. Last topic, can you brief in short? Okay, I will just go quickly, Neeraj. So basically, we have a user A, B, C, and D, right? So they all are part of same server, right? They are all a part of the same group, and they are interacting with one another. What I'm saying is user A is trying to send a message to all the 3 people, B, C, and D, right? So first thing first, user A is connected via web, and B and C also connected via web. D is connected via Android application. Next, this particular front end or UI is connected by something called gateway. What is the use of gateway? Gateway can be used for various reasons. One is they separate the front end with the back end in order to improve the security. Number 2, they also manages which particular server we should hit, which particular load balances we should hit, right? Next, we have something called message queue. Message queue is a library, right? You can imagine it as like a RabbitMQ. This is a software or library which is responsible for message queue. The basic responsibility of this is it knows from where the data is coming or from where the message is coming and to which particular user I should deliver this message. You can imagine it like a postman, post office, right? Which knows which letter is from where and where it should be delivered. So when you're sending me a message, obviously you have wrote like, means your gateway knows that which place or which users it should be get delivered. That particular information is there with the message queue database along with the gates, means which gates the user is connected to. For example, the user C and user B is connected to gateway 1, user C is connected to gateway 2, user D is connected to gateway 3. So since we have to deliver our message to B, C, and D, So we will connect with gate 1, 2, and 3, and then we will deliver our message appropriately. And finally, in order to save our data to the servers, right, to the database, what we have used is load balances. Balances are used to select the appropriate server. Suppose you have multiple servers which are doing kind of a similar thing, then you have to choose the optimum server which can basically serve your request properly. Okay, and finally, once you select the appropriate server, you save your data or your text message to the database. That's all the story about. I hope so, Neeraj, that is clear. FIFO is for first in, first out. LIFO is for last in, first out, right? First in, first out example is your queue. Queue means the line of an ATM, right? LIFO example is a stack, right? Stack of cards. Suppose you have a card. So whatever the last card you have put, it will be at the top. So if you want to remove a card from your deck of cards, the last one which you have inserted at the top, that card only you will be able to remove. So FIFO and LIFO is an important concept in the data structure. You will learn more about it when we will be covering about in the data structure, right? Also in the JavaScript, there is something called call start. That time also LIFO, last in first out, is being covered in detail, and it's quite important as well. Means how your JavaScript works, that has something to do with the LIFO. All right, guys, if there is no more, learn how to become. Okay, thank you. Explaining again. Yeah, no problem. Yes. If you have no more questions, let's start with Kahoot. I will start this. And please join. I think we do have some prizes involved as well. I'm sharing the link. Just click on it and do join. I'm going to mute it once. Yeah. Okay, I have to share, is it? Game pin. Okay. Link copied. Okay. I'm sharing you the link. Just click on it, and I think so you will be able to access it directly. Please make sure that you are writing your proper names so that it will be helpful for us as well to decide who is winning. Yeah. Please write your genuine names. Link I have already shared, Neeraj, just now. SG, this one at 9:54. Sharing it again. Questions are very easy. Whatever I have covered in the class. Diplomat, Moscow, Macau. Okay, I told you guys to please give your proper name. Anyways, yeah, just 4 of you are here. Please join the Kahoot, guys, please. Link is not showing. Sir, link. Everyone, 1 second. Can you see it now? I hope so you're able to see it. Okay. Okay, let's see how many of you are here. I just see 5 people right now. So please join. It will be a very easy question. Most of it are, you have just have 30 seconds for each of the question, guys. But make sure you are reading the answers properly, right? And everything is from today's class. Nothing is outside from today's class. If you have attended it like carefully, you will be able to answer very easily, right? It is just like our comprehension in English. Remember, in our school days we used to have. So just like that it is. Okay, 16, 17 people. I will wait till 5, or I think we are 29 right now. I can see 17 of you have joined. Please join everyone. I will start at 57 exactly. I can see just 16 people right now. Also, it is a request, guys, to please fill up the feedback form, right, which has been shared to you. It is really helpful for me and for us to improve these sessions, right? I'm unable to change my name. Okay, that's okay. We will, okay, no problem. LinkedIn. Yeah, okay, I'll share it to you at by the end of the class. Okay, Purushottam. All right, we have 17 people and I'm not seeing it increasing. That's okay. Maybe remaining people are not don't want to compete. It's fine. So we have 18 and I am starting the quiz. Okay, we still have 19. Anyone else joining? We have 20 of you now, 20 out of 28. Okay, let's start then. So please read the question carefully and let's see. So like I said, the content or the quiz is on this 3, 2, and 1. 30 seconds for each question, guys. Why did Discord choose ScalaDB in one of their solutions? Okay. What do you think? Why they have used this particular DB? Why not others? Let's see how many of you can get it correctly. Yeah, exactly. So it is a high performance. So like I said that whenever we are to deal with some database, which is kind of more performant, right? Where it is easy to basically expand it, right? Make it more performant. That time we use this particular database, that is ScalaDB, right? That is NoSQL database. All right, next. So we can see that Santosh is at the top. Congratulations, Santosh. Next. Which programming language can Discord use for backend? Which one can be preferred? Node.js, PHP, Ruby, and C#. I think it was part of the slide. And let's see how many of you can answer that. Node.js, exactly. Wow, good. 16 people have answered it correctly. Good. So Purushottam, congratulations. I think this thing also depends. The score also depends upon the fastest finger first kind of thing, right? The lesser the number means number of seconds you take, more is your points. Next. Which of the following is not a design principle of large scale system? I think I have talked in detail about different principles. Which one is not a design principle of large scale system? Let's see. Three of this means this is a single choice question. So three of it we have spoke in detail. So obviously the one which we have not talked about, so should be the answer. That's a hint. Yes, exactly. We have not spoke about tight coupling between components, isn't it, guys? So that's what it is, right? So the components, if they are tightly coupled, it will be very, very tough for us to extend the application, to add a new feature, right? And also to debug. That's why it should not be tightly coupled. Okay, remaining things we have spoke anyways. Shubham, congratulations. Okay, every time I can see a new name here. Good. Next. What is the primary purpose of WebRTC? Okay. It has something to do with it is just like a RabbitMQ and hint, guys. So just like a RabbitMQ is there, we have spoke about WebRTC use the same things in order to communicate. So that's a hint. Since I have not covered the WebRTC, That's a hint that it is just like a RabbitMQ. Let's see after this how many of you can get it correctly. 10 people, yeah. To provide a real-time communication capabilities through a web browser. So basically, whenever you are, just like I said, that RabbitMQ is for server to browser communication, whereas when it is you want to communicate between the browser to browser communication, that time we use something called WebRTC or WebSockets, which we will be covering in the coming classes. Okay, finally, okay, we can see the name K Prasad is going top. Good. Let's see the final one. What does Discord use as its message broker? This we have used. Let's see. We have shown it to you in detail. Let's see how many of you can answer here. RabbitMQ, yeah, that's a correct answer. So that's good. Let's see who won it. Third is Agarwal won. Congratulations. Second is K Prasad. Nice. And first is Satvik. Wow, congratulations. I'll take a screenshot so that it can be used for the prize distribution from my backend team. All right, guys. Congratulations. And I hope so. You guys have enjoyed today's session and you have learned a lot, not a lot, at least you learned something new as such from these sessions. Okay, guys, that's all from my side. I think the Almater team will take over from here. I wish you all the best. And that's it from my side. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Sandeep, for conducting the session. It was really insightful. I hope that all of these students who are here with us had a great time learning how web works and how every query that we put in, how it goes in the backend and we get the result from there. So thank you so much, guys, for staying along throughout the session. I'll just take 10 minutes at max more to give you an idea like how we conduct classes over here at Alma Better, and how you get from classes to classes learning concepts like these on an everyday basis. So every instructor or mentor that we have here with us, like Sandeep, is a working professional, and they give you a real-time idea on how web works. And we offer courses in two domains, web development and data science. So how you will be learning things that are involved in a particular domain. You will be learning things from scratch and you will be learning things end to end. So yeah, thank you so much, Sandeep, for this insightful session. I'll be sharing my screen and I'll be just taking you along with a few things. Just give me 1 second, guys, and please stay along with me for 10 more minutes at max. So yeah, at Alma Better, we are a student-centric and student-focused organization who revolves, who has constructed our courses, keeping in mind that how could it be most feasible for the students to join our courses and get career outcomes out of it. It's not a traditional or vocational college type course that we are offering, but we have designed our course with consultation with our hiring partners, and everything that you would be studying over here is industry relevant and is job oriented, as in every topic that we have designed or that we have kept in our curriculum will be useful for you when you complete the course and when you start working in a company after you are completing the course. So talking about the community first platform that we are providing to our students, you will be studying in groups, you'll be doing projects that would be in teams. So that is to foster a company like experience for you, as in when you go ahead and join any of the companies, you definitely will be working in teams, right? So working in teams over here doing projects will give you a similar experience, because you will also be getting a coach allocated with you to do a project, and that will definitely give you altogether a different vibe of like working in a company. And those projects are mandatory in nature, so you can have that confidence that all of you will be getting that experience once you join the course. And ultimately, after going through these processes, you will be getting ready for the jobs. Going ahead, why you should be choosing Alma Better. So in that regard, Alma Better offers a industry relevant curriculum. Like I mentioned, we have 100 plus live classes, and the access to those live classes will be given to you for a lifetime on your dashboard. There are 20 plus capstone projects that you will be doing, and those are industry relevant capstone projects. You will be working on the real industrial data, and you will be going ahead with the course, and you'll never like run short of questions or coding assessments or problems to work on. We conduct weekly doubt resolution sessions where you can clarify your doubts. So there are multiple avenues through which you can clarify your doubts, and weekly doubt resolution session is one of those. You can also clarify your doubts in live classes, like you clarify your doubts in this session. We would be conducting 50 plus mock interviews for every student that is coming in our Alma X, that is our placement drive. That is how we prepare you for a final company placement. And finally, you get a job guarantee, and we provide a minimum placement guarantee of 5 LPA, and your job would be 100% guaranteed with us. So you won't have to worry about the outcomes of the course. You just have to enroll in the course and stay consistent and leave the entire, pressure or the tension of the placements to us. We are there to provide you that career outcomes. Next is the paths to success at Alma Better. So it's pretty straightforward, as in like you just have to sign up and enroll for the course and go through the learning processes. During the learning process, you start going through the modules one by one. So in total, like you will be going through 6 to 7 modules. And after each module, you'll be getting a module completion certificate. And summing all of that up, you will be getting one final course completion certificate. And after you have completed the course, there comes a time where you have to get into the Alma X, that is our placement drive. So as soon as you get into the placement drive, you sign an income share agreement with us. That agreement solidifies our commitment that we would be giving you a 100% placement guarantee, and in return, you would be paying us only when you get the placement from here. If you don't get a placement, you don't have to pay anything. The certificate of the course and the entire training would go for free. And this is a stop where you also get the admission fee that you have paid initially to enroll in the program gets refunded. So the initial security deposit or an admissions fee is just to keep you motivated throughout the course, just to have some skin of yours in the game so that you stay consistent and you complete the course. And this is how we make it a pure pay after placement program. So after signing the income share agreement with us, we start with you preparing for the placement drive, and everything like starting from resume building sessions to mock interviews to revision sessions, so that you do well in coding assessments or you do well in the interviews when you go ahead. So everything happens in the placement drive, and after that you finally land a job of minimum 5 LPA. The average placement that we provide is around 9 to 10 LPA. So yeah, that is how it goes. The next part is the learning activities. So for technical training, we have multiple things. We have live lectures that happens on an day-to-day basis. So in a week, like we would be conducting 4 live classes, and the remaining days are given to you for revising the concepts that has been taught in the live classes. We have lab experiments, which will help you visualize the things that you have been studying. We have projects and assignments that are given to you after every live class to to build your concepts and to solidify the learning that you have gotten in the live class. And we have group discussions. So right after you enroll in the program, you become a part of a group of 5 people. That happens in the orientation session itself, and that is how you go ahead through the entire course with a group. For motivation and industry exposure, we conduct one-on-one mentorship sessions, so that leeway is given to you. Like you have the access to book a mentorship session through your dashboard itself. We conduct regular guest lectures. So like this masterclass, we conduct like a lecture or a guest lecture every weekend, every Saturday and every Wednesday, like almost on all Wednesdays. And you can come and attend those classes. That is like available for everyone. And we have community participation through which you can stay motivated and you can stay in the game with your peers. Next is the mandatory things for Alma X. So we conduct So you have to submit capstone projects and competency challenges. So like I mentioned in the beginning, that we roughly have 6 to 7 modules that you have to complete for getting into the placement drive. So after each module, there are some assessments through which we test your learning, that how efficient or how you have completed the entire module, how skilled you are in that particular module. So we do that through capstone projects and competency tests. So capstone projects are meant to check or to assess your practical learning, and competency challenges are to assess your theoretical learning. So yeah, that is about that. We have 500 plus hiring partners with us, and that is how we are able to ensure placements of everyone who is coming into the placement drive. The salary distribution of alma mater graduates, so the minimum guarantee is 5 LPA, and about 1/5 of the students come in this 5 to 7 LPA bracket, but you have to focus that our average placement is around 10 LPA. Okay, so most of the students come in the bracket of 8 to 9 LPA. So about 2/5 of the students that we have with us, means 2 out of every 5 students get a salary in the range of 8 to 10 LPA. That is what you can expect. And if you are highly consistent with the course, if you're giving it your all, then definitely you will be able to become one of those students, without a doubt. The next part is meet your instructor. So like you met Sandeep in this session, we have hundreds of such instructors tied up with us, who do or who conduct the live classes on an everyday basis in the evening, that is like 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So everybody that you would be interacting with in your learning journey is an industry professional in themselves. So like just imagine that how good would that experience be, that you can have conversations with those people who are already working somewhere, who you imagine yourself becoming. You can interact with them on what to say, as and when needed, and they will definitely give you insights as to what and where you need to work, and how can you become one of them. So yeah, that is a wholesome experience. The next part is the success stories. So you can look at the success stories on the website as well. That will give you a more holistic understanding. So you will be able to look at the success stories, and you will be able to relate with it, as in like how students come from varied backgrounds, and then they are able to transform their career in the domain of web development, and they are able to achieve good packages and back good packages in the domain of web development. And lastly, I would just take a couple of more minutes to show you the student dashboard, like how would your dashboard look like once you enroll in the program. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. Let me share my screen again. I hope my screen is visible. All right. So yeah, so as soon as you enroll in the course, guys, so this is how your dashboard will look like. So we have our next batch coming on this Friday, that is 14th of April. And yeah, as soon as you enroll in the course, you will get the exposure to this dashboard. And on this dashboard, on the right-hand side, you will see that you can attend the orientation session from here. So when you click on this will take you to another platform. This is the AirMeet platform, and you can join the live class from here. Okay, and there are multiple things that are available on this dashboard, and everything and anything that you need in your entire learning journey is available on this dashboard itself. You'll not need to resort onto any other material or any other source for any of the learning activities. So this is the Learn tab, from where you will be getting the access to all of the lectures, and you will see like what is your course schedule. So in the orientation session itself, you will get a deeper walkthrough of this entire dashboard, and what all things you need to go through, what all things you need to keep in your mind. Everything would be elaborated in the orientation session. I'm just giving you an overview of what this dashboard would look like. So in the Learn tab, you will see your entire curriculum or your entire course panned out as to what all things are there in the curriculum and what all things you need to go through. So the first module is Introduction to Computer Programming. So you will be learning about JavaScript over here, and everything would be taught to you from scratch. So Java is a subject that must have been taught to people who come from a science background in their +2. So this course is designed keeping in mind that we expect zero learning from these students. Like we expect that any student that is going to come to this course is a fresher, like does not have any background knowledge. This course has been designed keeping that in mind. So for the first 5 to 6 modules that are there, you will be learning very basic things that are relevant in the domain of web development. Like very basic concepts should be taught to you. Like in the second module, you'll be learning DSA, you'll be learning about all algorithms, how the entire backend system of the a website works. And then you would be taught the front end development, back end development, and front end UI UX development, as to how a user experience is enhanced or is made or created on the website. Then you would be learning practical software engineering, and after that, by the time that you reach this module, all of these topics are very basic to becoming a web developer. So once you complete these modules, you will be at a point where you have to pick a specialization, as in like what exactly do you want to become. Either you want to learn system design in a more deeper manner, or you want to learn front end or blockchain development. So you get to pick any of these three specializations, and by the time that you reach module 6, you will have an idea that what is your inclination, what are you more passionate about, and you will be able to pick your specialization and move ahead with the course. The next thing over here is the practice tab, and in the PPT I showed that you will be getting about thousands of coding problems on your dashboard. So this is where you get numerous coding problems, and you will never run out of coding problems on your dashboard. So these are coding problems, coding assessments, and quiz assessments that you can go through in your free time after you are done with the lecture and you have completed the assignments. Next is the project tab. So we have 20 plus capstone projects on the dashboard, and for every module, one capstone project is mandatory in nature. So you have multiple options in your hand. If you have more time in your hand, then you can definitely do multiple projects and put that in your resume. That would be as good for you as you believe. The next part over here is the career tab. So as soon as you make progress in the course, this career tab would be moving ahead, and you will be able to see that where you are in respect to reaching how near you are to reaching your placement drive. So yeah, this is for that. And the last item over here is mentorship. So through mentorship guidance, you can interact with, through booking a mentorship session, you can interact with the industry professional one-on-one, and you can have a real-time conversation with them. So this is all about the student dashboard, guys, and there are a lot more things that I want to show you, but in the interest of time, I'll cut it short to this. And yeah, I just have just one small thing to share with you. Like we have, since I mentioned that we have a batch coming up on this Friday, that is 14th of April, we have an early bird discount of 35% running. And since you were so patient throughout the course to stay, throughout the masterclass to stay till the end, I will be sharing a coupon code with you through which you can avail a flat 35% discount on our web development course. Just give me 1 second. So guys, you can use the coupon code Discord35 to avail a flat 35% discount on our web development course that is starting this Saturday. I'll ping the coupon code over here, so that if you want to enroll for the course, you can go and do that right away. The validity for this would be till tomorrow midnight. So the coupon code is Discord35. So you can use this coupon code on the checkout. I'll just show you that process as well. Just give me 2 more seconds, like how you can avail this discount, and yeah, we will be done with the session. So once you go to the Alma Better checkout page over here, just give me 1 second. You just need to go to the, click on the dashboard, and then you will be forwarded to this checkout page from where you can enroll. You just need to click on the enroll now tab on the banner of the web development page, and you will be redirected to this payment page. So over here, you already have a ANP 20% coupon code auto applied over here. You can remove this and you can type Discord35, and you will get a flat 35% off. That is a discount of 10,500, and the payable would come down to 19,499, and that is all that you have to pay. You just need to click on these 2 check boxes and you can pay and enroll in the course. It's as simple as that. I hope that this process was pretty clear to you, and you will be getting the access to this recording of this session so that you can view it again in the future if you want, and you'll be getting this discount code as well via like WhatsApp message and sometime or by tomorrow morning. So that is all, guys, and thank you so much for staying patient till the end of the session. And it was a really great session. Thank you so much, and yeah, definitely see you on the other side and like a lot more live classes that we conduct. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night ahead, and good night, everyone. Bye.